Hello, hello, everyone. Hello. Let's see here. Where did it go? Okay. There we go. Much better. Hello. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. So let me just make sure it is showing on Facebook. We're good. Yes. All right, everyone. Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Abigail Mensah-Bonsu. I am the founder of the Moon Goddess Academy and Publishing. And, I love doing these soul chats because I bring on people who inspire me, people who are doing great work in the world so that to share them with you, so that to introduce them with you, so that you can have more amazing people in your circle. So I hope you are enjoying these soul chats. And today I'm really excited to have this beautiful goddess here. And I'm going to have her introduce herself real quick, but she has an amazing project that she would like to share with all of us and also invite you into if you're being called to join. So welcome, Dina. Welcome.
Thank you, Abigail. It's so lovely to be here.
So let's start out with this. I know a little bit about you, but for people who don't know you, let's go ahead and start with that. Who are you? What inspires you? What do you do?
I am the founder of Soul Purpose Publishing and Coaching, and I've been a coach for a very long time, a transformation coach, working with soul alignment, especially self-love and self-care, and we know how important that is for our identity and what we want to create in the world. And I started my publishing company beginning of last year, which is absolutely an amazing opportunity that came my way. And for me, it was just amazing how everything just came together. All my skills came together in one place. And, I see my purpose as inspiring people to own their greatness. And through the publishing of stories, giving them a voice, and helping them to embody that new layer of identity as a best-selling author through the coaching, that is what lights me up. That's what I love to do.
I love it. I know when the publishing opportunity came my way too, it was unexpected. And I was like, what is happening? I was talking, it's like, Spirit, how is this going to fit into everything I do? And now looking at it, I mean, it continues to evolve every day as I evolve, as I get clear on my purpose and how I'm here to serve. It just is so incredible that we get to offer this platform for women or people who are ready to share the authentic story with the world. And we understand the power of sharing our stories. We tend to undermine our experiences because we experienced it and we don't think anybody else like, oh no, they probably won't think anything, or they don't think this is important. But we know how powerful stories can be in helping us heal, in helping us reconnect with ourselves, and helping us to love ourselves even more. So I want to hear your story, like how when it dropped in your space, what was going on with you? How did you say yes, and how did everything come together?
Well, this has got quite a backstory. In many years ago, I don't even remember when it was, but I read the book The Alchemist
Yes.
by Paulo Coelho. I think about everyone in the planet has read that book. And after it made such an impact on me, and I thought to myself, I think I made a wish to the universe and say, oh, I want to write stories like this
Mm.
to inspire the world. And of course, I forgot about it completely. And years went by, and then suddenly, writing blogs and writing articles and writing for Medium and writing everywhere, I suddenly, became Monique's friend and got this master class. I nearly fell off my chair.
You and me both.
It had like a physical reaction in my body. It was like it was screaming, yes, 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 this is you. And then the opportunity had to come past me 3 times before I could say yes. The first time I thought, wow, this is a great idea, and I felt this and I wanted to do this, but it wasn't the right time for me. And then later it came by again. And again, it wasn't the right time for me. And then it came the third time. And I thought myself, come on, man. How many times will I bring this to you now? This is your thing to do now. And so I jumped in with both feet. And yeah, it's just the most amazing journey for me as well. The writing, being the publisher, um, gosh, it stretched me, it still stretches me in all directions. Um,
Yes.
it's wonderful. It's really wonderful.
Oh
It
man.
never gets old.
Exactly. It never gets old. Like we're constantly learning. It's constantly evolving. Your story reminded me mine when it came by. Monique posted online, and I've known this woman for a long time, and she's always doing something new. So I'm always prepared for something new. And when she posted about this, I was like, oh boy, what is she up to now? But I could not, like, I read it and I was like, that would be nice. No, but that's not my purpose. That's not for me. I kid you not. For a whole week, I came up with the name of my publishing house, the books I wanted, the titles, like all. I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is not part of my purpose. I could not stop thinking about it. And I talked to my husband. I was like, so what would you think, if I tell you that I want to, publish books? And he's like, that's different. Where did that come from? I was like, tell me about it. I don't know. So I talked to Monique and I jumped in. And even though I have no idea, what that bigger picture is, but I knew like that visceral experience you
Mm,
had, like whole body, yes, where I couldn't shake it off. And I knew that it had to do with the people that I'm here to be of service to. They needed
mm,
this platform too. And, us being in this community of heart centered publishers, like we're seeing this in ourselves, and also how, the people, the authors that we bring in to share their stories in our containers. Like it's just pure magic, pure
it
magic.
is. It's
So
so amazing. Yeah.
yeah. So you have two amazing books right now that you're calling in authors for. I want to hear, how did those titles, well, first, what are those titles and how did they drop in for you? Because we know that's a whole experience in itself.
In itself. Well, the first title is Success with Source. And the subtitle of that is Learn from Women Who Practice Vibrational Alignment in Their Business. And what inspired me, or how that dropped in, is there are so many coaches, light workers, entrepreneurs who have the most amazing messages and skills to help so many people, but they struggle to keep their lights on in their business. You know, it is sad. And it's also, you know, learning. People, unfortunately, talking about myself as well, are very externally focused. So we look for the next guru, the next person to say, listen, you must write your message like this, and you must do this, and A, B, and C, and D. And then voila, you're going to have all the clients and all the money and everything. So people work themselves to death like 24/7, and they don't get anywhere. So my intention with this book truly is for the people who know how to. We need to take the hands of the others, Abigail. We need to show them how. Because you know what? There is an onslaught on humanity at the moment, especially with AI coming in now. People already don't think it's there, but we're getting more and more distance. We're getting more and more disconnected from source. For me, this book is absolutely crucial for the people who know how to come together and say, okay, let's lift up the rest. Let's show them how do we create success in our businesses with being, with intuition, with that vibrational alignment, with allowing source to lead us instead of looking at the next AI sort of thing or somebody else telling us what do we what we should do or not. So that is success with source. And actually, I first wanted to write a book, in the same line, but with women manifesting. This is also a book, is also the same thing, but it's just the title is just different and more, I think, more broad, more encompassing of what I actually want to create in the world. And so that's my first book. And then the second book is My Message, Volume 2. So Volume 1 we published last year, and it was an amazing hit and experience. And it's a beautiful sort of typical soul story of a coach. Going through something, we've overcome it, and then we found, wow, that this is actually our purpose. I can help others with this. So it's those stories that is in my message. And if I look back at the first volume, we had in there the first female Black Hawk helicopter pilot who told his story. And we had stories about abuse, about addiction, about relationships and money, and you name it.
Yeah.
Healing, so many healing, health. So it's such an inspiring book because, and the intention behind that is that people are struggling everywhere. And when they're in it, they can't see that you can't see the frame if you're in it. But if you can see how other people have maybe gone through something similar or even worse, and how they came through it gives us that, that sense of there is a blessing behind everything. Yeah. It's happening for us. So let me be with this and go through this. And of course, it always comes back to, again, to connecting with source, to connecting with our loving ourselves, coming back home, yes. Basically. Yes. And in that story, and it's such a transformation, hey, for every author. One client told me she'd probably saved about thousands of dollars in therapy just by writing her story. So, you want free therapy? Come and write your story.
It really does have that impact. I remember my book Miraculous, the contributors or the authors in there, and the journey that they took. Like they when they first entered, they thought it was just, I'm just going to share my story, done. We get published, hooray. And it took them on a journey that allowed them to up level to
Mm,
a different state of being that they never thought was possible, which makes a lot of sense, because if you're entering a container of miracles, you're opening up to that frequency. And so,
absolutely.
you get people who come into our containers, and I think this is what makes what we're doing with these publishing houses so powerful. That it's not just, hey, just come throw your story in there, you're done, you're published, hooray. It's like it's a transformative journey.
Mm,
Each of these containers are so powerful. Like your first book, I'm like, yes, that's my work right there. Like that is what I do with women to help them come home to themselves. Exactly
yes.
the words that you use, like come home to yourself. And it, I love that you're giving people the opportunity to share their journey in there, and also to show people how to do it. Because you're right. I think it's easy to say, come home to self, and even think about it. But if that hasn't been someone's reality,
Mm,
they don't know the path to come back to themselves. So when you grab a book like that and you read about how people return back to themselves, what happened, how they overcame, like whatever it is, like it empowers you, like, oh, I can do it too, I'm
yes.
not alone. It's so empowering and inspirational, that I love that first title. Like I was just like, yes. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's so needed at this time. More and more people are realizing that in order for them to truly live that fulfilled life they've been creating, they need to incorporate and bring back source into
Oh,
every
yeah.
part of their being and their
Absolutely.
life. Yeah.
Absolutely. We just we are. That's who we are. That's how we have been created. We have like invisible to the eye, but we've got like such. I always think of that movie Avatar. Remember
Oh,
that movie
yes.
of Avatar where that was a beautiful tree, and
Yes.
she had that link that she could plug in.
Yes.
And I feel that we need to recharge. We need to plug in again and again and again, and because that's where the love is. That's where our wealth is.
Yes.
That's where that's where we are.
That's our
And
livelihood. Yeah.
that's yeah. And no external anything is going to do that for us.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
we've got to get back to that.
We really do. We really do. I know more and more people are waking up to that. And I love working with the women who are on that journey. Like that
Yes.
is my purpose, to come back to, what does it mean to come back to source, and what is source within you, and how does that look like? Because we
Mm.
know that that looks different for all of us, and it's
Yeah.
okay. It's meant to be,
Fine. It's meant to be.
and yeah,
Yes.
it's meant to be. We're all different expressions of the divine. We're not one, all the
One
same, like that.
stereotype.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
exactly.
love I love that saying that says, you know, I recently watched the movie again of Eat, Pray, and Love,
Oh, I love
and
that movie.
I love
I
the
can't I
book.
can't
Have
help
you read the
yeah.
book?
I have. I read the book, and then when it came as a movie, I was like, "Yes!"
But when she says that, what the medicine man said is that
Yes.
God is in me as me. Isn't
Yes.
that amazing? As me. So I'm good. Just I was, and with the human design and the natural numbers and all of that, it just shows the perfection of
Yes.
the purpose behind every each and one of us, our creation.
Yes.
It's not just, slap, okay, now it's your turn to go. No, it's with purpose. It's to fulfill the grid, of the universe. I think it's so amazingly powerful,
It
and
is.
we need to get back to that. We need to get home. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like with this, all these planetary alignments, Pluto and Saturn, just all the alignment. They're all like us stepping into the Aquarius, true Aquarius age. It's all bringing us back. Of course,
Mm.
it's going to be a journey. It's not going to be like, oh, I woke up and I'm there. For some of us who've been doing the work for a long time, of course, we're the way showers, right? So it might
Mm.
be like that, where it's like, oh, okay. But for majority of humanity, it is a journey. It will take us years. We have to crumble the old systems, the all that stuff that doesn't work. We have to clear the path, and then we have to see, when we remove all those titles, all the programs, everything that has been, gunking up or veiling our light or the truth of who we are. When we remove all of that, then we have the space to also see who we truly are without all that mask, right? And then we have to integrate and then embody and then live through that. So it's a beautiful journey that we're on. It makes me very excited.
No, absolutely, absolutely. It's with all the drama around it and all the other stuff as well. This is where we're going. This is as a humanity, and we just need to help each other.
Yes.
Get a little bit of help from our friends. Just
Yes. I love that. So your second book, I also love that book. I know it's volume two. I have the volume one, and I love that book because it shows that, again, this journey of entrepreneurship or even life, it is a journey,
Mm,
and it's not about perfection. It's that every experience that we have is what makes it a perfection, which
I
means
love
that
that.
the failures, the the times that you also succeed, like all of that come together to make it
Mm,
perfection. So when that I've been reading about, people, or I should say icons that we know now, like Beethoven, like Harriet Tubman, and like the big people that
mm,
now we're like, oh my gosh, like Gandhi, like, oh my gosh, they were amazing. And how their journey for what am I unfolded for them. It
mm,
wasn't like, I'm stepping in, like it was a whole thing where some of them rejected it, some of them were pushed into there in a very not nice way, where they had to find healing in that trauma. Like it wasn't all love and light. That's what makes our journey substantial. That's what builds the foundation of who we are. So our mess is part of our perfection, and it is okay
absolutely.
if you mess up. It's totally okay. So I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so wonderful to, in the authors writing that story, to realize how important is their story. And it's just their story, but it's so important to enlighten, to help others with. But we are so much more than the story. It's just our human little journey, this little blip that we are in here now, that is leading to our soul story.
Yes.
That is for me so beautiful. Is to
Yes.
not judge ourselves, or you know um, think we're bad and nobody wants us, and you know all the mistakes that we made, and it's not about that at all. That is just that is the play that we had so far.
Yeah. And it's okay if you catch yourself judging yourself or talking down on yourself. Just remember to come back. We are
Mm.
human beings. We're going to have that. That's just part of our journey. But knowing how to return back to the truth, that is the key.
Yeah,
What will help you determine that what you're saying to yourself is not the truth, that is just an insecurity or a fear, and that is even okay for you to feel that way, because that shows that you are jumping into a new unknown area, and your own subconsciousness is trying to protect you, right? It's like, are you sure you want to step into that, right? It's such a beautiful thing, right? It's like, hold up, are you sure? Because I can't see, like, can you do
I
that?
can see.
We're comfortable here. You sure you don't want to stay here? Look at this comfortable couch, And it just knowing the truth. Like for me, I have my own fears. I have anxieties, and but I have the tools to move through that. So make it
That's
look
it.
like I don't experience any of those, but I
Yeah,
do.
just to have the tools. That's so precious, hey?
Yes. Yes. Having the tools. And so that book is I mean, the first one was pretty amazing, and I know the second one is going to be also amazing. And I'm excited to see who jumps in into either books. Like,
Yeah.
so guys, this is what is so hard being in a community of publishers, because I kid you not, every single book that people come up with, like, I'm like, I want to write in there. I want to write in there. It's like you have to pace yourself. Like, they're all so good.
They're
And so,
all
like,
good.
even here and here, so I'm like, oh my God, I have the stories that I could share in them, you know? So if you are listening to this and you have a story, please don't hold yourself back. Okay. And Dina, share with them like what happens when they step into the container to share their story in the books. How do you
Well,
support them?
all the way, all the way with writing your story. I have, a whole guidance plus a write your story workshop that takes you over 7 days to write your book. Plus, I have a session with you to brainstorm your story, because often, we have so many stories and we can say take so many angles and whatever. So we have a session where we brainstorm that, and I read your story after you've written it to give you feedback. So I give you feedback of this to say, there are some gaps here. Please connect the two. Or the story doesn't move me. So let's talk about that. So by the time your story goes to the editor, it's gorgeous. And this to and fro between you and me as you write and I give you feedback can go on a number of times. Because my intention is for the book to have great quality, and my intention is for you to put your best story in there.
Yes. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's so
So
needed.
so feel absolutely at, at ease that I will guide you. You will write your best story, okay? And you don't have to be a writer. It's not about that. You don't have to be an author. The other thing as well that's important is there are sometimes a misconception about that a multi-author book is for beginners.
Hmm.
It's for a beginner writer. No, it's not. It's not. It is a great not a stepping stone even. It's a great first to write a chapter, to get to know the process, to see what it's like. And for a small investment, you get the status guaranteed international best-selling author. And that's bloody awesome,
Yes,
you
it
know?
is. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And but I've also been telling people, even if you have written a solo book, you can still write a chapter in a multi-author book and then, refer to your solo book so
Yes.
that get you more sales. Or if you've done a chapter before, as we all have, write
Hmm.
another chapter in another
Yes.
book. It's all count to your exposure and
Exactly.
your message out there and your reaching a much bigger audience.
Exactly. You know, one of the things I love about multi-author books, and my publishing house focuses on multi-author books because I just love it. Because, the the clients or the authors that came through me, they started like, I don't know if I can write. They're called to write a book, but even the thought about writing a book is daunting because you're like, how am I
Mm.
gonna write, a whole book? And then, they step into a multi-author where they're just responsible for only like 3,000 or 3,500 words. And even that, they're like, I don't know how. And they start writing, like they tune in because we walk them through a process where they tune in and the story comes out and then they can't stop writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a great way to just open the
Yeah,
door,
sure.
and you move from there and you step into another multi-author book, but it's all warming you up. And before you know it, you have a whole book right there. They're
Yes.
ready.
My one client sent me a story and it was like 10,000 words. I said, save it, save it, just save it. Okay. And now we're going to actually look at how
Yes.
can we get it down to 3,000 words.
Yes.
but because it is, you can write your chapter and then you can expand it
Yes.
into a short read, you can expand it into a bigger book.
Yes.
But to go through that process of writing it is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. And the other thing I love about multi-author book experiences is that you go on the journey with others, so not by yourself.
Yeah.
You get into a container with like 10, 20, 30 other women or people, men and women, depending on the container. And you get to journey this. You get to move through the anxieties together. You get to move through the doubts together, and you get to celebrate together. You get to uplift people together. It is quite an experience. Like if I'm going to write a book, I want to be in a container like that,
Yeah.
and that's what these containers offer. Is quite unique. It's really unique.
It
And
is very unique and it's
yeah,
very supportive, and it's, spontaneous support, and it's like lifelong friendships.
yes, yes,
Lifelong friendships. And it's really important, Abigail. We are a number of independent publishers like
yes,
ourselves. It's really important for every author out there, or every person who would like to become an author. Was you just go for the book that you resonate with,
yes,
that the title you raise, that's you. That's all. You
yeah.
know, we don't have to compete with each other
No.
or think you're taking my author. No, the bigger picture is to give a voice to these amazing people out here to actually broadcast their message,
Yes,
and
yes.
and it's for them to choose that title that resonates with them. I think, wow, I want my name in that book.
Exactly. Exactly. Because there are many options out there, and
Mm,
it's not about, who's doing it, or, I mean, unless that's what you're looking for.
mm,
But it's when I look at what books I want to be a
mm,
part of, it's the books, the titles, the names that call me in.
mm,
Like they draw me in, and it's just stuck, and then my story starts to flow. That's how, it flows for me. So yeah, which of these titles that Dina just, and I'm gonna have you say it again, so that because we've talked about so many things. I think the first one is Success with Source, and then the second one is My Mess. Is it My Mess?
yeah, my mess is my message.
My Mess is My Message, Volume 2.
Yeah.
So if you're being called to share your story in these books, especially, I want to say the first book, I don't know why that's pulling me in so much, but if you have that experience of operating in that energy of source, please, more people need to learn that.
Mm,
Share your experience, share what it's been like for you. Like, come into these containers and share your story. You're not only becoming international bestseller, but you're going to help
many
many
people.
people with your story. So, Dina, how do people find you? How do people sign up to be in either or both books?
I think the easiest is find me on Facebook and send me a private message. Um, Dina Marais. I think there's a one behind my name. I have no idea why there's no other Dina Marais on Facebook. Um, or dinamarais.com. That's my website. You will see the books there on the homepage. As you scroll down, you can just click on it to check out the page or connect with me there. It's so easy to find me.
Beautiful. And I have her website above. There you go. I think it's above. So you can just click on that and check it out. And of course, send her a message if you have any questions. We are in a time where sharing your story, becoming a published author is more accessible.
Yeah,
Is it, compared to before, like you had to jump through so many hoops and all of, and there's no guarantee that your story could even be published. And now there's so many opportunities for you to. So don't sit back and let the excuses hold you back. If you're being called to share your story in these books, please jump in. The world needs your story. The world needs your medicine.
absolutely.
Is there anything else you would like to share before we close this beautiful chat?
No, no. I think you've said it so beautifully. If you feel your heart is called, come and talk. And also, sometimes people come and they check out the page and they think, oh my gosh, no, I can't pay this. Talk to me. You know, if your heart must be in the book, then you must be in the book. Talk to me.
I love that. I love you. I love that. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. It's so important. Like your message is what is important. Don't let
Yes.
anything else hold you back. And yes, when they schedule and they get to talk to you about it, it's like you never know what's going to open up, right? So, or what opportunities might show up. So, please do so. Check in, connect with Dina, sign up to be in her beautiful books. Is going to be amazing. Well, thank you
Thank you,
so much for
Abigail.
joining me this Friday morning, my dear. Thank you for sharing your gift with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you so much for this lovely interview. It was great talking to you.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you have any questions, you know where to find Dina, or you can contact me and I'll connect the two of you. But thank you again. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. And until next time, from our hearts to yours. Bye, everyone.
Bye.